Hello and welcome, this is the Ch.28 Reads, and today I'm going to be reading The Lost Heir by Ch.28 Sutherland, and this is Chapter 28. Tsunami was on a beach again. This time it was dark, long after sunset, and small stars shone in the sky like the silver scales on the underside of Starflight's wings. Tsunami stared down at the waves flapping over her talons. She wondered if she'd ever see Riptide again, or an enemy, or Elklet, or her mother. "I know it's dark," Starflight said uncomfortably behind her, but... Tsunami sighed. "But we should stay under the trees." She stood up and followed him into the woods, shaking the sand off her talons. "I'm trying to be more like you, you know," she said to him. "I'm trying to stop and think and use my head and all that smart stuff, but it drives me a little crazy sometimes." Starflight stumbled out on a tree root and turned to stare at her. "Be more like me?" he echoed. "Why would you want to do that? I wish I were anything like you, especially brave." Tsunami brushed his wings with hers. "You're all right the way you are," she said. "Someone has to be the thoughtful, caring one. And you made Blister pretty mad. That took some courage. Besides, I don't think this group could handle two of me." In the moonlight, she caught a half-smile flitting across his face. Webs lay on a patch of moss, breathing in a nasty, shallow way. Sunny was curled up beside him so her scales could give him a little warmth. Clay was peering at the scratch near his tail, which was still oozing and starting to turn black around the edges. "We need help," Clay said. "I have no idea how to fix this." His expression was woeful. "Who would know how to cure someone of sandwing venom?" Sunny asked. "Sandwings, I guess," she answered herself. "But I don't know where we'd find one who we could trust." "The Talons of Peace?" Starflight suggested doubtfully. "I can't go back there," Web said, "and you shouldn't either." Tsunami tilted her head at him curiously. After all these years of being a good Talon foot soldier, obeying their every command, suddenly he changed his mind? "If Crocodile was an infiltrator," he said, catching her look, "there could be others. I don't know who's safe for you and who's not." "Seriously? Even the good dragons all seem to have plans for us," Tsunami said, thinking of her mother. "Gosh, I hope Blaze is better than the other two," Sunny said fervently. Starflight winced, but didn't argue with her. "We can probably find her with the Ice Wings," he said, "but we'll have to be very, very careful this time." "Yeah," Clay agreed. "I vote for not getting locked up ever again." "Maybe we should try a different approach," Glory suggested. "Maybe this time we could not barge in yelling, 'We're the Dragonets of Destiny, we're awesome and special, we'd make terrific prisoners.' Just an idea." "Do you know what we're supposed to do?" Sunny asked Webs hopefully. "Did the Talons have any plans about who we could fulfill the prophecy?" "If they did," Web said, "they didn't share them with me." "Awesome," Glory muttered. Tsunami glanced at her. The rainwing scales were shades of black and dark green, blending in with the dark forest around them. An idea struck her. "I know who might help Webs with the poisons," Tsunami said. "Who?" Clay asked. "The rainwings," she said. Glory twisted around to give her a sharp look. "Think about it," Tsunami went on. "They have venom too, obviously. They must know something about what to do when you poison the wrong dragon." "True," Starflight said. "Even if it's a different kind of venom, that's still a good point." "And then we can look for Glory's family," Tsunami said, "which I think is only fair." Glory's face was expressionless, but small puffs of rose pink were blooming in her scales. Tsunami guessed that meant she was happy, since it wasn't a color they saw very often on her. Are you sure?" Glory said. "That's what we should do next?" "Absolutely," Sunny said. "We should definitely go find your home, Glory." "I bet it's beautiful," Clay said in a sweet, earnest way, "and your family will be so happy to see you." Webs let out a small groan, but when they turned to look at him, he closed his eyes as if he'd fallen asleep. Tsunami was sure he was pretending, but what they did next wasn't up to him anyway. "It's closer to here than most of the other tribes," Starflight pointed out. "We have to cross the outskirts of Mudwing territory, but the rainforest should be basically due southwest of here." "I know that," Glory said crossly. "You're not the only one who can memorize maps, Starflight." "Perfect," Tsunami said. "That's what we'll do." "After we rest?" Sunny asked hopefully. Tsunami thought she could keep flying all night if she had to. She wanted to put as much distance between them and Blister as possible. She wanted to shove all the other dragonets ahead of her all the way to the rainforest without stopping. But she looked at Sunny's tired eyes and Starflight's drooping wings, and she settled herself close to Web's tail. After we rest, she agreed. Sunny lay down again with a relieved sigh. A few moments later, Tsunami saw her back rising and falling in deep sleep. Clay flopped down next to Tsunami, his tail draped over hers. "I'm sorry about your mother," he said. "And the palace, and Blister, and Whirlpool, and Riptide, and—" "All right, I get it, thanks," Tsunami said, cutting him off with a nudge. "I hope they all make it through the attack," he said quietly. "Me too," she said. "But they'll be safe in the Deep Palace. At least they have somewhere else to go," she thought for a moment. "And I think Anemone will be a good queen one day. She has Coral's good qualities, but she thinks for herself, and she's still young. She'll get stronger and more independent as she gets older." "If she's anything like you, independent will be an understatement," Glory said. She tucked herself against Clay's other side, and he put one wing over her. Starflight had tentatively nosed in beside Sunny, and now his eyes were closed as well. "The Kingdom of the Sea wasn't the right place for me anyway," Tsunami said, partly to convince herself. "What about your great royal destiny?" Glory teased. "What about how you'd be the greatest queen of all time?" "Well," Tsunami said with a shrug, "I guess I'll have to settle for being the boss of you guys." "Ha," Glory said, but not in her usual sarcastic way. Amused yellow bubbles floated through her wings, and she reached over to nose Tsunami's shoulder. "You can certainly keep trying." "I will," Tsunami thought, "but not because I think I'm the greatest and everyone should listen to me. I'll keep trying to lead you because it's the only way I know how to keep you all safe. And maybe sometimes I'll have to listen the way Mother listens to her counsel, and sometimes I won't be able to do exactly what I want." But even when she was mad at her friends, she knew she could trust them, and she had to be the kind of dragon they could all trust as well. She glanced up at the moons, two of them glowing pale and ghostly beyond the trees. There were more important things than becoming queen. Stopping the war was just one of them. If the 5 of them were the only ones who could, then maybe that's what they had to do, whether Tsunami believed in destiny or not. She wriggled closer to her friends. All of them were sleeping soundly now. So the Kingdom of the Sea wasn't home after all, she thought. I wonder if anywhere ever will be. And that is the end of Chapter 28. Once again, this is the second book in the Wings of Fire series by Ch.28 Sutherland. Have a great day.